Hello everybody, and thanks for joining me for this live stream. I'm Aaron Rutten, and it is my mission to help artists like you enjoy digital art and learn some new skills along the way. Today we're going to be drawing some Halloween-themed artwork that you requested. Feel free to comment in and let me know what Halloween-themed art you'd like me to draw, and I will perhaps add it to my list. So I already got some comments earlier in a little post I did on my channel. So let's see what they are. Zexon wanted to see a tree on the left, a cursed castle on the right, a road in the middle, and some candles and pumpkins. Vanessa wanted to see Michael Myers, and Jasmine wants to see Chucky. So I will add those to my pool. Anita's here. Good to see you, Anita. WP says, thanks for calling me an artist. I feel better. Weepy Sama's here. Good to see you, Weepy Sama. So comment in with your Halloween-themed artwork requests, and we'll go ahead and get started drawing. In the meantime, what do you think of my Halloween setup here? I tried to kind of make the background look Halloween-y and tried to make the lighting on the camera kind of spooky. I don't know if I achieved that or not, but it was fun. I spent some time doing that. I kind of like this lighting better because I don't have giant lights blasting me in the face. This is actually just a natural light from my window and, you know, some fanciness in the background here. Anita says it really brings the mood. Good. Tomas wants to see He-Man. Is He-Man a Halloween theme? I guess people dress as He-Man for Halloween. Okay, so I'll go ahead and just start drawing here. Getting my comfortable position here. So I'm starting with a black canvas here in Corel Painter. Let's see, somebody wanted to see Chucky. So I'll just do a quick portrait of Chucky. Pull up a reference here so I'm not embarrassing myself trying to draw from memory. Oops. Make sure my touch is turned off here. And I'll zoom in a bit. So let's see, let's do this kind of quick and dirty. Got a nice Chucky color here for his skin. Head is shaped something kind of like that. He has a little pointy, creepy, evil baby chin. All right. And the hair I'm going to wait to do. The hair is going to be asymmetrical. I'm just going to focus on what's symmetrical here. Probably don't really need to worry too much about the top of the head, but you know what? I'm going to make it happen. Now we'll do his creepy, creepy eyes. It's interesting when you actually look at Chucky, the amount of cuteness that they added to Chucky. It's evil and creepy, but at the same time, he's still a doll, which I guess is how he infiltrates homes to do his evil stuff that he does. I personally am not a big fan of horror movies. There are some that it's like sci-fi horror would probably be something that I would watch, but just horror movies where it's like people getting cut up into pieces and stuff like that just doesn't really do it for me. It's a bit of an eyelid there. That's a bit too dark, so let's lighten it up a bit more. Little bags under his eyes. Starts to get more and more weathered looking as he goes on, I think. And then we'll do his little button nose here. I should not do that on my eye layers though. I should make a new layer for that. Why not name some layers too while I'm at it? When I'm working quickly, I'm a little bit more sloppy than I normally am because I'm rushing. That's a bit too wide. Nose is pretty small. Just kind of get the gist of it there. Kira's here, Kyra's here, ArtTube's here, Blitzer's here. Good to see you all. Thanks for tuning in. So that'll be the nose. Do the mouth next. So some examples of horror movies that I would actually watch. I like Night of the Living Dead, the 1990s remake. You know, there's actually like a story to it and it makes you think about something, whereas some of these other movies don't really have much to them. They're just meant to scare you or disturb you. I like Aliens and Alien. Those are pretty good. I would consider those to be sci-fi horror. Go ahead and make my head disappear here. See just a little bit of his teeth. I know I kind of jump around here, but that's just how I work. I'm gonna go back to the eyes here. His interesting eyes. You know, that's the fun thing about drawing stuff that you've never drawn before. You're forced to learn a lot about it. I mean, not that I've learned a lot, but, you know, I know more. Like, if I ever had to do trivia and they said, what color are Chucky's eyes? Now I have a pretty good idea. Little highlights on the eyes there. I'm going to do some airbrushing. There are contours here that I want to capture. Brow's really scowling. And again, this is all asymmetrical. Eventually there's going to be hair there. I'll go ahead and just merge some of these head layers together and just make it easier to work on if what I'm trying to do is work fast, which I am. Okay, he has exactly 6. I count this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 eyebrows on each side. No wonder he's so angry. 1. Let's do this. I'm going to draw a guide first. To get the general eyebrow shape that I want. I also need to keep in mind that it's not an eyebrow, it's not a normal eyebrow shape. Kind of goes something like that. So really odd eyebrows. Something kind of like that. Yeah. And he has some little eyelashes that come off here too. Further adds to the creepiness. So as I'm drawing this, I'm going to be taking breaks here. So anyways, as I'm drawing here, I want to give people an opportunity to super chat and do something or get something fun out of it. For example, where's my thing here? All my pop-up stuff is on my other screen. Well, down at the bottom of the chat there is the little $sign super chat, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this kind of a special live stream. This isn't going to happen in every live stream, but it may happen in the live streams in the month of October. So, I have a bunch of stuff, a bunch of costume components. I have a Bob Ross wig. I have a long-haired blue wig. I have a hat. I have a Batman mask. I have a Bob Ross beard. Where's my beard? A beard. I have creepy gloves. Oh great, we're all getting this has to happen during my live stream. The text message from Donald Trump saying presidential alert, no action is needed. What a historic event to happen during my live stream. So, it's fitting that I also have this Captain America onesie. What else do we have here? Creepy mask that I made for a couple Halloweens ago. Got a bandana. What else do I have? Is that it? I think that's basically it. So if you saw anything in there that you want me to wear right now, click that super chat button and just put it out there. Say, I want you to wear the wig or the bandana or whatever. Oh, I got sunglasses too. And I will wear this crap through the whole live stream, okay? So that means the more people who super chat, potentially I could be wearing all of this stuff. How much you super chat doesn't matter. It could be $1, it could be $5, it could be $10, whatever you feel is worth me making a fool of myself more than I normally do. So just putting that out there. If not, I'll just, stay as boring old Aaron. So let's do hair. This way it'll start to look more like Chucky. Try to find that exact color there. That's not quite the color that I want. That's better. So I'm just going to block most of it in first. Needs to go out more than that. Oh, you're just looking at me. You're just looking at my face. Awesome. It happens, So many screens, so many buttons. You were supposed to use your imagination there and just imagine what I'm drawing. And this I can just fill in, and in fact I might just put that, I'm going to put that behind the head, that way I can comfortably just paint it in and not have to worry about it. I've been using pretty much just one brush this whole time, which is the smooth scratch board. Just going to move my reference photo so I can see it better. There we go. Anita with the $2 super chat. Thank you, Anita. What do you want to see, Anita? We got blue long-haired wig. We got the Bob Ross wig. We got the beard. We got the Batman mask. We got the cowboy hat, sunglasses, bandana, creepy mask, creepy gloves, Captain America onesie. Anita wants to see the Bob Ross. Which piece of Bob Ross, though? Do you want to see the hair or the beard? The hair. Okay, here we go. We're doing it. Thank you, Anita. Anita's getting the party started. As promised. Got to tease it a little bit. So, there we go. Yeah. Now we're looking good. Shoot. Let's go ahead and just do a little painting here. If anybody else wants to add to this, click that super chat button. We'll we'll add some more to it. Okay, so is the hair wild and crazy enough? We shall see. I want to stray too far off the scalp there. I won't do it on that side. Maybe I will have some come down in front like that. We need some dark shadows right here. Now I think I see something that needs to be fixed here. The eyes are much too big. For one, and they need to be bulged a bit more. They also need to be spaced out a bit more There we go. Now he's looking more evil. I don't want that to be too bright. That's better. Just fixing the head shape a bit there as well. Spacing the eyes a bit more. At this point, I'm just working on fixing things a bit. Oops. Let's try that again. Bring the eyes down a bit closer to the face. There's a lot more forehead. That's better. Now, of course, I need to move the eyebrows and the eyelashes into the correct position. There we go. Now I'm going to need a dark brownish color like this for the hair. I'm just going to blend that stuff. There's a lot to do in this painting. It's a simple character, but there's a lot of details. Lyrics Daily says, am I going to be doing Inktober, and what would you recommend for someone just starting out? I'm not going to be doing Inktober because I've done a drawing every single day for an entire year, not just a month. So I've been there, I've done that. I don't feel like I need to burden myself with that. I wouldn't gain anything from it. All I'd really be doing is exploiting the hashtag Inktober, which is what a lot of people are doing, which is fine, but you know, all it really does is promote the Inktober thing. So will I exploit that to some degree? Possibly, but am I going to do 30 drawings, 31 drawings? Probably not. I might do a couple though. But it does sound like a fun challenge, and if I had more time on my hands, perhaps I would, but with having to do YouTube videos and all this other stuff I have to do, I just don't have time to do a drawing a day. I mean, I could, you know, plop something out easily, but it wouldn't be my best work, and then I'd have 31, you know, 31 not so good drawings. That was my experience having done a drawing for every day of the year. A lot of them weren't very good. A lot of them, there was a day where I didn't have time to sit down and do a multi-hour painting. Some days I did, and that's what I did. But, you know, that's what I imagine it would be, is like probably half of my Inktober drawings would be like little scribbles or something. I will say there is something coming very soon that is going to show you how to turn any line art drawing into wet runny ink. So imagine you do a line art drawing in any application, really. This will show you how to basically like put water onto it and have it smear and run and drip. So you'll be able to do very realistic looking Inktober drawings digitally. But let's not interweave Inktober with just doing wet ink drawings or doing ink drawings, because, you know, you can do that. You can do that any day of the year. And I think that's what's important. It's not just like art isn't something that you should do as a fad or for just 1 month, you know, or as like a thing. It's just something you should do all the time if you want to get really good at it. So Inktober should be, you know, ink forever. Don't ever stop drawing. Because if I was like, okay, Inktober's over, or whatever, you know, they have lots of other prompt-based drawing things out there, sketchbook, slam, challenge, and all that stuff. If you do it and then you're done with it, what's your motivation to keep going? And that's not to knock any of those challenges. Those are all fine challenges. I just think what's better is just to get in the mindset that you're just going to make art compulsively. You have to make art. It's not something that you want to force yourself to do. It's not something that you should really need help doing. It's just something that you should really, really want to do. And you have to find your own motivation for wanting to do that. For a lot of artists, it just feels right. That's just what you feel like doing. I'm going to go ahead and merge some layers together. Let's merge them all together. Why not? Okay, let's bulge this up a bit. That might be a bit too much. Again, just kind of reshaping the face a little bit here. I want the hair to come down a bit more. A lot of this deep red here in some areas, so I want to make sure that I capture those tones. Otherwise the hair is going to look flat. We don't want that. I have to be careful here because my layers are not separate anymore. Go ahead and just use this as an opportunity to add a little edge highlight there. And I think overall I need to add a little bit more tinting. The skin is a bit too pale. Now it looks more like a creepy hand-painted doll. Lots of these really hard highlights on here. It's helping it look more like a doll. And I'll just merge that down. And we're getting there. Anita says, this is amazing. Thank you, Anita. Kira says, I use Inktober as a challenge to myself to make interesting art just with black and white tones and to try out more brushes because I usually only use 2. Yeah, the prompts I can see are very helpful because a lot of trying to draw is trying to figure out what to draw. What I'm doing here is I'm using the glow brush because there's some really bright light shining down on the top of the head in the reference image, so I want to try to capture that. This helps it look like creepy doll hair to have some of these little wiry things that come off of here. And of course you want some of them to be the hair color as well, but the white ones are really going to stand out the most. And you can have a few dark ones too. Why do those not want to show up? Oh, because I'm using the glow brush. I need to switch to a different brush. There we go. Okay. Now I'm just going to hunt around and see what I can improve here. Add some more contrast to the eyes. Make those eyes look a little more sunken in that way. I'll go ahead and just merge these layers. Bring back in my white highlight on the eye there. At this point, it's just kind of adding some finishing touches here. I feel like I could put a lot more time into this, but I think for the most part it looks like what I want it to look like, so I'm not going to work it to death here. Needs a bit of an ear. Want to forget that. I think it's just about done. wig is hot. I don't mean hot in an attractive way. I mean like hot in a literally it's making my scalp sweat kind of way. Okay. I'm gonna say that this is probably just about done. See what else I can do to it. Needs more forehead, I think. Yes. It's getting better. There we go. Oh, I didn't do any detail on the teeth. Should probably do that. Go ahead and zoom into the teeth. Fortunately, you don't really see much on the top teeth. Zoom back out a bit here. That's better. A little bit of red on the inside there too. All right, I think this is just about creepy enough. Kira says looks creepy. Okay. I think it's probably as good as it's going to get. I could do the body and all that stuff, but that would, you know, probably take a lot more time too. Thank you, Anita. Anita says it's really good. I appreciate that. Go ahead and save this then. I'll reward myself with some water. So, are we going to add to this wig? Am I gonna wear more costume components? You can click that super chat button if you're enjoying this live stream and request that I put on any of these things. I mean, wouldn't you like to see me wearing a beard and a Batman mask while I finish out this live stream? Isn't that worth $2 or $5 or $20? Okay, so feel free to comment in and let me know what the next thing you'd like me to draw is. I think I have enough time to do one more Halloween themed drawing for this live stream. Gotta say, I'm pretty pleased with how that Chucky turned out. Pasta wants to see bread slices, one on top of another. Now that is Halloween themed. Anita with the $5 super chat wants to see jack-o'-lanterns in a field, for sure. Let's do some jack-o'-lanterns in the field. Maybe I can put in a skeleton and a Mike Myers in there too. So let's see here. Anita, I'm gonna give you some bonus action here for your double super chat. You can also pick another costume component. Now, I know you probably want to see the beard, but let me just add that that's going to increase my overall core temperature by like 5 degrees. So might I recommend maybe the sunglasses or something kind of light, maybe the gloves? It's your call. Keep my fingers crossed for the gloves or the sunglasses. Sunglasses it is. All right. Now I'm looking cool. I am ready to go see the Blue Oyster Cult at some sort of vineyard right now. Okay. It's making everything look weird. Whoa. It's all funky now. Do a new canvas here, and don't worry, I will show you what it is that I'm doing this time. You won't have to look at my face while I draw. Jack-o'-lanterns in a field. So in order to do this, will be kind of a complex painting, so in order to do this quickly, I'm going to have to do kind of a thumbnail painting. No, Anita, I do have to wear it while I draw because that makes it all the more fun, right? It's the challenge. If Casey Neistat can do it, I can do it. So, blocking it out this way, very small like this, is really helpful. So it helps you just focus on small little details and you don't get too overwhelmed with everything else. And you start to see stuff. Like these are big trees that come up here like this. Okay, so, you know, I didn't plot that out with a sketch, but that kind of looks like a place, right? And then you can start to see, you know, whatever other details you want to see once you zoom in up close. Now, in my mind, I did imagine that there would be some sort of moon or something over here, and that would be the light source. Just trying to work out how I want to do this here. Okay. Now let's blend it a bit. I want to stick with this looser kind of style. This is just stuff that just goes off into who knows where. Okay, you can already see trees back there going off to who knows where. Brighten that up there with a little focal point. My judgment on color is going to be a little bit off here because I am wearing sunglasses. So I might as well be showing myself wearing the sunglasses too. Oops. That's the one we want. Now you can see how cool I look. Okay, so field of pumpkins with jack-o'-lanterns. So I just need to imagine where I want them. Say we'll have them over here like this. And give them some little shadows here. And just imagining the ground, and there'd be little vines and stuff down here too. Actually, I want to be a little bit better about that stuff going off into the distance and have it just get fainter. Now, pumpkins in the moonlight probably wouldn't look all that orange, but they're going to be self-illuminated. So I'm trying to think about how I want to visualize this. Really, I'm just making this up as I go along. I could pull up a reference photo, but how long would it take me to find a reference photo for this? Probably a while. See, that what allows me to just do this is because I've become comfortable painting. So for one, I can kind of visualize and just improvise. But for two, I'm creating layers as I go along, so I know if I don't like the way it turned out that I can delete that layer, I can modify that layer. So I'm not stressing out about it too much, so I'm willing to just jump in and experiment. And if I just experiment, then I just do it, and then we just see how it looks. And if we like it, we like it. If we don't, we don't. Deciding how this should look here. And you have to try to imagine three-dimensionally which angles you're looking at. Using the glow brush here. Kind of hard to gauge how this looks with the sunglasses, so I'm going to take a peek. Oh, that's not too bad. Looks better with the sunglasses on, to be honest. So that layer's glow. This is pumpkin faces. This is pumpkin highlights. Lord Ahab wants to know, what size am I drawing at? This is a 1920 by 1080 canvas, and I only chose that size because it fits nicely on the screen and isn't too big. Now I'm just going to blend this a little bit. I want to merge this layer down as well. I can blend some of this stuff on the ground. I'll just need to continue adding in details here. And these pumpkins would be reflecting each other, most likely, so we'd want some reflections there as well. And perhaps even on the ground there could be some light. Maybe we'll do that. Just like this. Keep a little bit of that on the stem as well. Now this is supposed to be a field, so it should probably have some dark grass. I don't think I want to do that though. We'll have some lighter grass as well. Have a creepy old branch come out from back here. Just to add some more little focal points to this piece. See how it looks without my glasses here. Add a bit of a horizon line there just to kind of bring that together. There we go, just looking for a way to fade that out. All right, I'm gonna put the glasses up in the hair. Angelica's here. Good to see you, Angelica. Doing good. How are you doing? Angelica likes it so far. Thank you. So I'm just gonna wrap this up. I'll go ahead and just drop all of my layers. Oh, I'm gonna save it first. It's always a good habit to do that. And then now I don't really have to worry about layers being separate or anything like that. Yeah, I can see this much better now. Doesn't seem like I was all that affected by it, but trust me, I was. Yeah, this is cool. I like this idea. This was a good suggestion. Little vines there for the pumpkins. So this is all from imagination. I mean, maybe it's not perfect, but just to be able to imagine this kind of stuff, it helps if you just put it down like I did. I just threw some stuff in there and all of a sudden your imagination takes off and you're like, oh, okay, I see that. It's coming together in my mind. There's some logic that I employed here. You know, I know logic of lighting. I've seen things at night. I've seen pumpkins, you know, with lights inside of them. I've drawn pumpkins with lights inside of them. I've drawn moonlight scenes. So all this stuff you put together, and then that's how you use your imagination to draw. So I didn't need a reference for any of this. You could say I used a reference when I drew this stuff, you know, prior to this occasion, sure. Part of me wants to do more to the sky because it does look a little flat. So what shall we do to the sky? Maybe nothing. Swirl it up a little bit like that. Maybe that will satisfy me. I'm just looking kind of flat. So maybe this can be a little cloud that kind of comes in front here like this. And that gives it some purpose. Sometimes that's what it takes. It's just satisfying your mind. Something's bothering you. Maybe you just need to figure out how to fix it. Okay, then I'll blend that, but not too much. Yeah, I like this one. This is a good session for sure. Not every day that I'm super happy with the stuff that I draw on these live streams, especially when I'm just making it up as I go along. But today I'm pretty happy with this. Kira loves the atmosphere. Thank you, Kira. Anita says, I'm sorry if you're sweating under that hair. It's okay. You know what? The weather is actually cooler now here in Seattle, so I'm not even close to the temperature I'd be at if these lights were on. I don't have the lights on that are normally blazing on me, and it's not summer. So, you know, believe it or not, I'm actually probably cooler than I normally would be, even if I'm wearing a wig and a cardigan. I could easily take this cardigan off too. Kira says, looks spooky. Thank you, Kira. So I'm gonna call that one good. Just going to save this so I have a version with and without my layers. Gabriel sees a wolf in the background. I think I do too. Over on the right, kind of. Like right around here. Could make a little thing, like we don't know what it is, but it's just back there. Who knows what that is? Could be a tree stump. Be just about anything. You got me started again, Gabriel. I was going to be done with it. Part of me wants to have something come in front of that, but then you try it and you're like, nope, that doesn't look good. Alright, I need to stop messing with this. It's good enough. Good enough for me. So save it again. Anita loves this piece a lot. Thank you, Anita. That was a great suggestion. And thank you very much for your 2 super chats and for being the only one to participate in my costume challenge. It's still not too late. I'll spend a few more minutes here answering questions. If anybody wants me to add anything else to my wardrobe here. I mean, come on. There's a Captain America onesie. Or this nice beard. Maybe if I model it for you, maybe that'll get you in the mood. Click that super chat button. Make a suggestion. I will put it on. Then I can actually be something, because I don't know what I am right now. This is like, I don't care about what I am for Halloween. I just look like some dude who's gonna go to a concert, you know? Where'd my water go? I'm Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. Like, Scoob! Zoinks! Like, it's the... hold on. Zoinks, Scoob! Here comes the 1,000-watt ghost! I can't do it. Can't do it. I can do a pretty good Shaggy impression. It's just been a while. That was more like Don Knotts. Kira wants to know if I used XP Pen before. I have not. I do have a video you can watch. It's called something along the lines of Why are Cintiqs so expensive? And it's going to show you some side-by-side comparisons of XP Pen and other kinds of tablets. A lot of these tablets that are non-Wacom brand, non-Microsoft, etc., they're using a lot of the same generic parts. The stands, for example, or maybe the screen technology and things like that. So I can't speak for XP Pen because I haven't used it personally, but from what I can tell visually, it looks like it's using a lot of the same components as Huion or UG or any of these other types of tablets, and that's because they're generic parts. You put them together, you put your own shell on it, you put your own label on it. Here's my tablet, but there probably isn't going to be a whole lot of difference between an XP Pen or a Huion or a UG when it comes down to it. You might have a varying experience in customer service. I know with UG I had a very negative experience where I shipped something back to them and they were supposed to refund my shipping and didn't. So I'm out $56 still to this day, even though they agreed to send that back to me. So for that reason, I'm not going to be recommending UG. XP Pen is their own company, you know, I don't know. I'd like to try some XP Pen stuff, and I, you know, may or may not have an opportunity to do that at some point. But reviews for me are a little bit tricky because I don't want to do too many reviews because people, like a lot of people who watch my channel, want to learn stuff. They already have a tablet. They don't care about seeing every single tablet that comes out because there's so many of them. It's not like they put out one each a year. They just churn them out. Each of these companies has like 50 different tablets out there. So, and I don't want to review a bunch of tablets that are basically the same. You know, it's boring to me. So it isn't worth it for me to get a free tablet that I don't need. It isn't worth it for me to even get paid to then say something nice about something that I might not be 100% satisfied with. And my standards are different than a lot of other people's standards. Like, if you gave me an XP Pen tablet or a Huion or a UG back before I even had a decent, like, regular drawing tablet without a screen, I'd probably be in love with it, and it'd probably be awesome. But I'm trying to share the point of view of somebody who's been around for a while, who's tried a lot of tablets and has had some positive experiences and some negative experiences, and that's my point of view. And not everyone has to agree with that. There's a lot of people who get really, really sensitive about it, as if I'm like ruining digital art for everybody by telling them what they should or should not use based on my own experience. But it's just an opinion. I'm just some dude. I'm just a dude on the internet, you know what I mean? And everybody else is just a dude or a dudette on the internet. But you have to keep in mind, like, there's reviews out there, but in all honesty, a lot of the reviews are there because the company reached out to that person and sent them a free product. And what are they going to do? Like, say something bad about it? Well, they're not going to get any more free stuff. They're not going to have, if they're a review channel, they're not going to be able to keep making reviews if they have a bad relationship with the company. And you walk a fine line when you pick apart a product. So I personally can sustain my channel without having to do reviews. I'd get a lot more views if I did more reviews, but then I would start to kind of stray away from my goal for my channel, which is to teach people about art, not to make reviews. So I'm probably not the guy you want to ask about XP Pen. You probably want to ask other people who have actually used XP Pen. If I get a chance to try them, I will definitely be fair and objective in my review. And if you know, any company who I'm going to do a review for, I'm going to tell them, and I have told companies, I'm going to say what I want about the product. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. I'm not going to sugarcoat something and be like, oh yeah, you know, it works really great, but the line's really wobbly, you know, like, and just kind of pass that off and be like, you know, well, you know, these other tablets don't have wobbly lines, but this one does, and if you don't mind, you know, it's like, tell people that you don't want wobbly lines. Like, you shouldn't get wobbly lines with a drawing tablet. That shouldn't be an issue. There's just certain things, certain issues with tablets that some of these manufacturers commonly have that just shouldn't exist, you know? So, yeah, I need to get off my rant about these tablets, but people are telling me they're getting better, the technology's getting better, so I'm going to try to look at it from a point of view of like, are these alternative tablets good enough? And if they are, that's great. If I still think that they're drastically flawed and that they're not worth investing in, then I'm going to say so. And that's because you might look at a $2,000 Wacom tablet and be like, wow, that is ridiculously expensive. But even if you're spending $500 on something that looks kind of the same, $500 is still a lot of money too. So I don't want you to spend $500, even if you're saving $1,500, I don't want you to spend that $500 if it means that it's not going to be something that's, you know, a good investment in the long run. So without really trying every single tablet that comes out, it's hard for me to have a fair opinion of it. All I can do is look at it and say, based on my experience and based on what I see, this is how it might perform, you know? So there's channels out there who review every single thing that comes out. You might check out I'm going to probably not pronounce his name properly, but Teo Yichi. He does a lot of reviews of like just about everything. I know Brad Colbo does a lot of reviews. So those are people who have tried like just about every single tablet that's come out, and they'll be able to tell you how it performs, and actually go through a lot of tests. So I would check those out. Kira says, in their country, they can't buy any tablet with a screen, just the most expensive version of a Wacom Cintiq. And that's another consideration that I'm trying to be fair about. You know, not everybody lives in the United States of America or in a country where you can easily get a tablet. Like, in some countries, all you can get is XP Pen or Huion. And in that case, yeah, if that's all you can get, you know, I don't think I've ever said don't get a drawing tablet. You know, I've said here's what I prefer, here's what I think is a good investment, and here's what I think is not as good. And if all you can get is whatever you can get, you know, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Do that, get into digital art, and if you get to a point where you can get something better, or you feel like you even need something better, then come to that when you get there. But don't let my opinion hold you back, because I don't think I've ever said in any of my videos, don't get into digital art, don't even do it unless you can spend $3,000 on the newest Cintiq, you know? Just get whatever you can afford, even if all you can afford is like a $60 little tablet that's like this big and doesn't have a lot of features. If that's what it takes to get you into digital art, do that. Because it's not like I started out with a Cintiq. I started out with that. Where is it? Is it still behind me? I may have moved it. I thought I had it up back there. I guess I used it in a video. I did something with it. Anyways, I have this old tablet. You've probably seen it in one of my videos. Before that, I had an even older one. Wasn't very big, wasn't very fancy, and I got a lot of work with that done. And I was able to build my portfolio and get jobs and make money and advance my career. And then when I got a Cintiq, it's not like having a Cintiq instantly made me a better artist. It's not like having a Cintiq got me more opportunities. It's not like a Cintiq made me more money. It just allowed me to work more comfortably. And when you're more comfortable, you can be more productive, you can be happier. You know, those are things that are worth it to some people, not to others. And it kind of depends on who you are and where you're at and what you're doing. But, you know, there's the other element of it, that it's also, there's things that are built better than others, you know, like build quality definitely matters. How long something's going to last matters. A lot of these Cintiqs, these older ones, people have been using them for a long time, you know. There's a lot of people out there who are still using the UX21s, which are older Cintiqs, and they still work, and they're probably 10 or 12 years old. Catalina started with the mouse. You can use a mouse. There's lots of great artists who use a mouse. You don't even need a drawing tablet. So my opinion on drawing tablets is it's for a specific demographic of people. It's for people who want to know, like cut out all the BS. I want to know, if you were my friend and we were hanging out and you were going to give me advice and give me good advice, what would you tell me to get? That's what I want to answer for you. I don't want to just say, oh, they're all good. They're all good. That one's good. That one's good. Yeah, they're the same. They're all good. They're good. So I can have a video that's like, this tablet's good. This tablet's good. This tablet's good. Come to me and I'll tell you that this tablet's good. That's not helpful. And I say, this tablet sucks and this is why. This tablet's better than this tablet. Here, I'm going to rank them for you. You know, I feel like that's helpful. That cuts out all the BS, because there is a lot of BS when you go to these websites, you know. You got a lot of misleading statistics, you know, that'll say stuff like supports 4K resolution, you know, one of these screens. The screen, if you look into it, the screen itself that you draw on is 1920 by 1080. But if you plug it into a computer that also has a monitor that's in 4K, you can still use it on that computer. You're like, duh! Of course you can. So does it support 4K? Yes, but you know what? Any of these tablets that I plug into a computer that's also connected to a 4K monitor is going to support 4K. Is that screen going to be 4K? No, that screen is 1920 by 1080 HD resolution. So to even put something like that on your website as a selling point is misleading. It's to compete with Wacom's actually 4K displays. So someone who doesn't even know what 4K means goes and they look there and they're like, well, this one supports 4K, and this one is 4K. I guess they're the same thing, but one's $1,500, $2,500 more than the other one. It's all the same thing. And then you get it home and you're like, wait a minute, this screen's not 4K. Or you don't know any better and you think you have a 4K screen, and you know, I guess if you don't know what 4K is and you don't know the difference visually, then who cares, you know? It really doesn't matter. And does 1920 or QHD or 4K really matter? I don't think it matters a whole lot, because if I was still using 1920 by 1080, I'd still be able to make art just fine. If I'm stuck with this Cintiq 27 for the rest of my life, I'm still going to be just fine. You know? Angelica says the bigger the better. I mean, that's what it is, you know? People get obsessed with these specifications, like, I need the highest number and the biggest size and all that stuff, and it's like, no, you don't. You can do digital art with a mouse, with the cheapest tools available, you know? And beyond that point, if it makes you feel like you're gaining something by getting more features or spending more money, then that's on you to determine. But, you know, I just want to give people a real opinion. I don't want to just appease companies to get free stuff. That's not where I'm at. I don't need to do that. I'm not going to do that. And I don't need a bunch of free stuff, you know? Like even if it comes down to companies trying to send me expensive good stuff, like if I already have a computer, I don't need 12 computers sitting around. I don't need to figure out what to do with them. I don't need any of that stuff. Like if there's something that's really, really useful that I think is cool, I'll review it, but I can't review every single thing. So that's my long rant about stuff. People who are tuning in now are probably like, what is going on? Who is this dude? Maybe this is a new look for me. Anita says, your course is also so well designed. You put your passion to this. I see it. That course was brutal. It was a brutal course. It's a lot of work. I got sick early on, so I was like a month of like not being able to record, and then a lot of editing, a lot of recording. You know, I'm gonna go through and probably make a couple little tweaks here and there. Like there's a couple of things where I'm like, oh, I could have worded that better, but you know, I'd say it's 99% complete. It's just because I might tweak a couple of things. So that's the perfectionist in me. But I tried, you know, I built upon the previous course and tried to learn from what made the previous course good and what could have made the previous course better and add that to the newer one and just try to offer more than I think most people, regardless of what they teach, offer. You know, I have the over-the-shoulder view of me drawing on the screen. You're not going to find too many courses where people do anything other than screen sharing. And I feel like that was really helpful for a lot of the lessons, because a lot of the lessons are like, do this particular motion, or, you know, you need to see my hand in relation to the brush. Gabriel has a good point that 4K is all in our mind. The eyes don't observe the difference between 4K and Ultra HD. Yeah, there's a certain amount of detail that's too much detail that you can't see. And, you know, we're probably at that point now. I think, for me, it makes sense to have a higher resolution to a degree because I'm recording what I'm doing on my screen. So if I have more resolution, I'm going to get a crisper recording up to a certain point. But then I'm also going to get a larger file size. It takes up more space. So, you know, and the same goes for artwork too. If you have a 4K screen, what if you want to work on really large artwork to be able to see all that detail? All of a sudden, your art application slows down to a crawl because your canvas is too big or something like that, you know. So there's pros and cons. I think people are getting too hung up on numbers and specifications and tools and things, and I think if you focus on your art and you focus on what you're doing, that's the most important thing. And then external from that, you can start to add on these other concerns, you know what I mean? But I think people get too focused on like the wrong element of being an artist, you know, like they put most of their focus on the tools. Like, I need this kind of tool. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what software you use. It doesn't matter what technique you use. It doesn't matter if you have your own style. You just need to make art. You just need to make art. And it's as simple as that. I could summarize all of my videos I've created and my entire channel into, you just need to make art. You need to keep making art and make whatever kind of art you want to make. Everything else, success, people looking at your art, money, tools, all of those things will come your way if you're truly focused on making your art, and that's your ultimate goal, and that's your reason for being. You're an art machine. Tomas wants to know what's my opinion on photo manipulation artists. I have a video, probably a couple of videos if you search my channel for cloning, that explain my thoughts on cloning. It's more than I want to say in one go. Angelica says, have I ever felt discouraged when it comes to art, like stuff not going right and such? Have you seen my live streams? Come on. Stuff goes wrong all the time. I mean, there's what 2 minutes of me earlier like being like, I'm drawing, and then it's my face and not what I'm drawing. You know, a couple live streams ago I was trying to draw the Hulk from imagination, you know. None of that was going right. But to me it doesn't matter because I have a goal in mind, you know. When I want something to go right, when I'm ultra concerned about something looking perfect, I'm going to spend a lot of time on it. You know, the Stephen Hawking portrait, the Super Nintendo drawing, painting, whatever you want to call it. Those things that I spent hours and hours and hours on, those are the things I'm concerned about, and I'll focus on every single little detail as best I can. But other things I won't. You have to kind of weigh out what your investment of time, what's going to be your return on investment. You know, time invested should get you something back in return. I know for a fact there's a lot of drawings. This one, for example, here, what am I going to do with this? It served its purpose. It was for the live stream. It's not like I'm going to print the thing and try to sell it. It's not like I'm going to display it anywhere. So even if I put 8 more hours into it and made it perfect, and it could be commercially viable, do I want to go through the effort then of trying to sell it and print it and figure out how to, you know what I mean? That requires an investment of time too. And then once I add up the time of making the painting and preparing it for being sold and all of these things, how much money am I really going to make? And then divide that by the hours of time that I put in. Is that going to be worth my time? Based on experience, no. So what it is worth is that I was going to live stream anyways. I needed something to paint. It's Halloween. That serves a purpose. I needed to make a video. The video keeps my channel going. It's like the fuel or the food that my channel eats, or that you eat. So I need to make videos, right? So all of this stuff worked. It's not like I went out of my way to make this painting. I was going to make the painting anyways. I did it. If it earns me ad revenue, or if it gets me a sale of one of my courses, or if it earns me super chats from Anita, that art made its money. I didn't invest extra time into it, and I made money. So to me, that's smart. Like that's smart art. Digital art smart. Ding. So there you go. You know, that's me optimizing my output to meet whatever demand there is for my art, you know. And in this case, there isn't so much demand of me selling prints that I need to try to produce art for printing. It's fine just to make art to show you how to make art, or to get you excited about making art so that you make your own art. That's what it's about. And if I happen to make some money incidentally from that, there's nothing wrong with that. That's what keeps me going. So how do you like the background? I got the plasma ball thing. I should just go touch the plasma ball. All right, bad joke. So I think we're getting near the end of this live stream. I think I've goofed off enough, done enough drawings. I'm pretty happy with the drawings. I appreciate all the suggestions for drawings today, and I appreciate the super chats from Anita for participating in my silly costume adventure here. Great to see everyone. So I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. Next week, I'm not going to be live streaming on Wednesday. I might do it on Tuesday instead. I'm gonna keep you all filled in on that, and I'll schedule that as soon as possible, or announce if I'm not going to do it. But next Wednesday is kind of tricky for me. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, make sure to do so. That's the best way to get a notification when I release a new video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all next time.